Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.co.uk. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the United Kingdom. And today I've gone back to some a bit of old, a bit of new, a few bits and pieces to make this fun, like Toblerone type treat holder. I was in, Easter is on its way, I can't believe it. So I was in my local Aldi and they do these fun eggs. So here you go, this is what they're like. I love the colour of them, to be honest with you. They're purple, why would I not like them? A pack of these, I think there might have been 10 in originally. I've got 8 left, just saying. But I thought it was a great way to make a little treat and to package them up much prettier than they arrive. So here's my little box. You see, Life is Sweeter with You, which is from Share a Milkshake. In the mini catalogue, only available January through till April, and you'll see you've got some Life is Sweet with You, you're the cherry on top. Celebrate, I think, is a really useful one. I'm not going to be using the Be My Valentine, but you know, the milkshakes, the ice creams, great fun. But I thought it was lovely. I wanted to pair it with some floral paper, and the paper I've got, I'm trying to use up some of my stash, is Designer Daydream. So if you place an order of £150 or more, you get to choose the Stampin' rewards for yourself or for you and your friends. And this is one of the things you can choose, and you get it at a kind of discounted price. So you get 10% rewards on £150, and I think you can pay the extra £2. I think it is for £17. But this is the paper you get. Now you get 4 sheets of each of these designs, 12 by 12. So you can see on the one side you've got generic images, you've got bolder ones, you've kind of got tiles and dots. That's the floral paper I used. You've seen me use this one before with potted geraniums and useful stripes, the little bikes for anybody who's a cyclist, some sort of windmills, kites, and more stripes, a lovely floral sort of leaves. Again, another pretty floral image and some lovely birds as well. So those are the papers, and if you know, you may not get through a great big pack of it, but you could share it with your friends. So club together, get an order together. Anyway, that's the paper I'm using. I'm using iridescent gems on the top there. Hopefully you can see the sparkle. And these are these ones here, iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. In the annual catalogue, you get lots for your money. You know, you get 10 rows, I think. 10 rows, and you've got different sizes in there as well. So you've got a large one, a medium and a small that you can use. And I say I've used Flowers of Friendship. And I just thought it was great fun. You could pop it on the table if you've got grandkids or children coming round, and it holds 4 of these eggs, which then means that there are some spare for you to taste test, because of course that's what you need to do. And then I've just added a bit of extra interest by using our lovely Very Best Trio Punch, which is this one here. Hopefully, let me just angle it. There you go. You can see that. That makes a pretty corner. This just chomps the corner off, really nice and straight. Then you can use this for tags as well. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to start off by stamping my flowers. So I've got my flower stamp, and I've just cut a couple of strips of card from a couple of strips of basic white. Let me just make sure I use the right one. Yeah, there we go. So I've just cut some strips of basic white that I'm going to use. I thought I'd go for Petal Pink and Pool Party on this. So I'm actually going to do the flowers in Calypso Coral. Petal Pink's quite pale. So I'm going to take my stamp. I'm just going to, there we go, just stamp those. And when you punch these out, you're going to pop it in, and so you will get a chomp out of the leaf. So I think I did it with about 3. Let's see how it works. See if I can get it out of that one. So I'm going to open up my punch. This is about sort of just over 3 centimetres in width. I'm just going to line that up from the underside. And you'll see I sort of turned it when I stamped it. So you've got this image here is slightly smoother, the others dip in more, and that lines up with this top right hand corner image. Not image, aperture. So there we go. Oh, and I think I might just get away with it. So there we go, there's one flower. I'm just going to feed that in again. Again, light it. Now, if you have any dexterity or grip issues, then just put it down on your desk and do it this way. Just press down. And then again, just come in. So again, you'll see, you know, just press partly down. Use the flat of your hand if you need to. There we go. And then just make sure you get all the little pieces out. You don't want that jamming up your punch. So next I'm going to stamp my sentiment. I'm just going to stamp that with some Calypso Coral. Just to centre that in the middle there. The great thing about this font is because it's kind of a little bit wonky. If you're a little bit wonky too, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep my ink open. I'm just going to add a little bit of ink to a block to do some colouring with as well. So pop that to one side. And we're going to punch the ends of this tab. So here's my trio punch. And I'm just going to pop it in, and you can create two different shapes. I want to create the rounded shape at the end there. So I'm just going to punch down, flip it over, and do the same at the other end. You'll see that my first attempt at stamping wasn't great, so hopefully, there we go. And if where you've cut it, you ever get these raised edges, just run your bone folder over the edge and that'll smooth them all down. So there we have Life is Sweeter with You. I'm going to do the same on a piece of Pool Party. So this is 11.5 by 3.5 and the white was 11 by 3. So just do the same in there. And my first one, I kept them the same length. So I'll show you the sort of the difference with the layer, just taking that ½ centimetre off the length as well. So there we have it. So that's going to now layer onto there and just gives a nice border all the way around. Whereas on my original, you'll see that I just kind of have the border top and bottom on that. Great thing about having two sides to a piece of card is that you can just flip it over and stamp on the other side. There we go. So that's going to go off to one side. So now I'm going to colour my flowers. So ways that you can do this, you can take some watercolour pencils if you like. You can grab your Stampin' blends if that's your preference. Or if you want to do some simple colouring, use your ink pad like this. So I'm just come in with my blender pen. And just colour those flowers. So I'm doing the sort of centres to start off with the first ink to make those a little darker, and then I'm coming in around the outside edge. And what it actually does is it pulls some of the ink from the stamped image itself, so you'll always get a little bit of colour. But I just want that centre of each petal to be a little bit darker. And then colour that. There we go. It's better. So, quick and easy. And as you've got your ink already there in your ink pad, it gives you just a nice way of having an exact match to that ink. If you haven't got the relevant blends. So there we go, there are our flowers. Then I'm just going to shape those. Lots of different ways to shape them. Quick and easy way, use the palm of your hand, face down, and the end of my scissors. You can use your Stampin' Pierce mat, get the same effect, or you can use posh tools. What I will do though is grab my Stampin' Pierce mat to shape in the opposite direction. So I'm just going to come in and just press down in the centre there with something fairly sharp. So I'm using my bone folder. You could use the ball end of your take your pick tool, so this one here, press down, and then just add your rhinestones to the middle there, and I might even use some of the larger ones in this instance. There we go. And the take your pick really does make it really easy to grab those jewels. Okay, so there we have our 3 decorations. We've got our layer, and now we can crack on with making our box. So as I said, I've used this paper. I wanted to pick up on the kind of purpley tones. This time I'm actually going to go with this paper here, and you'll see it's got lovely petal pink and pool party, which is probably naturally where I'd go with my colours a little bit more. You're going to want a piece of card which is 25 by 14, 9.5 by 5 1/4, and a piece of contrast that is 14. No, it's not 14 by, a piece of DSP that's 14 by 14, 5.5 by 5.5, or 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then this layer for the front is 16.5 by 3.5 centimetres, and that's just a simple layer. You could stamp it if you wanted to, but again, quick and easy treats. You know, we don't need to go get into too much detail. So in terms of the scoring, you're going to score on the short edge at 4 centimetres, at 8 centimetres, and at 12, and then on the end you're just going to score at 4 centimetres on each end. Now you'll also want a pencil or an erasable pen, because what you're going to do is on this middle of the 3 equal sections, you're just going to mark that. So if I put it actually, so here are my 3 equal sections to the left, and then you can mark that centre one at 6 centimetres as well. So you'll be measuring, so 2 centimetres in, and it's or 3/4 of an inch in. So let's reinforce those score lines before we do our trimming. There we go. And all you need to do next is grab your embossing tool. And no surprise, we're going to come down on the edge here from where it meets. I'm going to turn to my smaller embossing head, and you're just going to score diagonally. It just makes it easier when you come to do your folding. As it's made, as we're making it from card, if you were using DSP, I'd say actually just mark it and crease it by hand. But with the card, you really want to get those fibres a little bit more stretched. So just score those, and then obviously come in and just erase your marks at the top there. Okay, so now a little bit of trimming, and what we're going to do is we're cutting on the long edge straight down, and then we're going to notch out. So, and the same at the other end. So straight down and cut a notch. And at the other end, slightly different. So this is where we've got our small score line as well. Still coming straight down. take that outer section, little square, and then notch out a tab, and then same at the other end. So again, straight down, cut away a little tab, like so. So let me show you. So that's what would help if I attach my piece of paper. There we go. So that's what you're going to end up with. So you've got this long narrow section, 2 tabs, we've got our scored section in the middle. So now while it's flat, we're going to punch those corners. So just come in and punch those. Keep your punch and flip your card if you want it to be the same on each end. So just make sure that's nicely in. And this is my favourite one because it gives that nice rounded edge on the front. Okay. So again, while it's flat, at the opposite end to where our opposite side to where our punch section is, just add our layer, and that just adds a little bit of interest and contrast. Again, you could stamp that if you wanted to. And while that's drying, I'm going to do some scoring on my DSP. And on this one, I've scored it because I found that when it's the box, because it's being triangular, it kind of pushes open slightly. I might make it slightly bigger. So, but all I'm going to do is just score at sort of about 4.1 and about 8.2 and about 12.3. And that will just help us. And just score gently with DSP because you don't want to put your... It's very easy to pop your scoring tool through if you make it a little bit heavy. Just reinforce that with your fingers. No need to do anything else. I'm going to wait till it's on before I put my layer on, just to make sure that it's all fitting together nicely. And so now we can do that. So before we glue it, I just want to reinforce those score lines. And again, we can do that with our fingers. You can go in with your bone folder if you want and just reinforce that. What you're going to do though is once you have creased it, you're going to fold it back on itself. So if you imagine those are coming up and those are coming up, and then the tabs are going backwards. And that's so we can glue them. So just come in with some adhesive. Now if you've got some I'm going to say fast fuse, it doesn't, Seal Plus, that would be great. Well, I'm not sure if I've run out or not. My ones in front of me are empty and I keep meaning to refill them and I don't. But anyway, there we go. So I'm just going to pop that up and just, so it's just like making a standard box. I'm just going to pinch those together, and Tombow will grab quite quickly if you let it. It's nice, and just give it a moment to pinch, like so. There we go. And then you're going to pinch those together to close it up. So add your treats. In my case, it's some of these lovely little truffle eggs. And as you can see, it is quite a snug fit. So when that comes, it literally just fits. So what we want to do is add some adhesive to this. And just come in and fold that around. So I find it easiest to come in from the top and then just squeeze that around like so. And you'll see that just gives our fun pattern here. I'm going to add my floral embellishments. And I'm going to add some dimensionals onto the back of that there. So just pop a dimensional at each end, and actually probably just along the middle, to be honest. You can measure it if you like, but I'm just eyeballing that. But you'll see that once you add your flowers onto the corners, it just brings it to life. Make sure you don't obscure your greeting. So there we have. So there we have our pair of Toblerone truffle egg boxes, and just a bit of fun, a little treat, and yeah, just a bit of yeah, another way to package something up and have some left over for yourself. So thank you for watching. Come back and see me again soon. Please hit the subscribe button to see when I post another video, and dimensions in inches and centimetres are in the description box below this video, so just pop on there and have a look. And if you can select me as your demonstrator when you check out, I'd be really grateful. Just search for Find a Demonstrator and select Heidi Smith, and then I will be able to send you a thank you and a little gift in the post next month. Thanks for watching. Bye now.